No curveballs, no changeup, nothing but f***ing gas. I played Skyrim as a kid. I rented it from the library and played it on the PS3 before having to return it, and then I wanted to go buy it, so my dad bought it for me at Walmart for 20 bucks. I played a ton on the PlayStation 3. I think it was summer of 6th grade. That was a good way to play it, but after, playing it so much, I felt like I experienced most of what the game had to offer. Playing it later on felt kind of lacking. Skyrim on Xbox One and PS4 having mod functionality was a game changer though. This was before I could play it on any PC and mod it myself, where the mods on PC are much more and there are very many of them, and the PC is capable of handling such a large mod load. Xbox and PlayStation were not as capable, but looking back at how Skyrim looked and played on the 360 or the PS3, it was a considerable improvement and allowed many more people to mod the game when they simply didn't have a PC. It was a good way to play it for people who haven't really played it much before. It seemed like this was partially the time where Bethesda was being a little impressive with their games, yet fantastically lazy, and everyone kinda knew it. Let's step back into 2016, before the world spiraled into shit, before my parents divorced, and before my mental health was slipping. I'm just kidding, my parents never divorced. October 2016 was a big month for Nintendo because not only were we getting trailers for the Switch, which at the time was mind-boggling and exciting for many Nintendo fan, the biggest thing about that was one specific trailer that many people remembered was someone playing Skyrim on an airplane. Airlines must have felt bad for those of us who never joined the Mile High Club, so they petitioned Nintendo to give us losers something to do. And boy was it special. Of course, the world wasn't a stranger to Skyrim, not in 2017 when the Switch came out, and we weren't a stranger to re-releases either, but what felt impactful about this was that it was Skyrim, on the go, in all of its glory. Well, maybe it's not so gloriful, but it was impressive that a little handheld console could run Skyrim portably. Not like you'd end up playing it anyways, but I digress. Skyrim on the Switch was one of those games I picked up when I bought my Switch back in 2020, seeing as I didn't want to buy it on the family system when I wasn't exactly lugging it around outside of the house. The bigger joke than me buying Skyrim for a 4th time was me thinking I'd actually play it all that much. Oh boy. I'm surprised Nintendo didn't sneak a copy of Skyrim into their online expansion pass. No, keep that away from me! I never really played Skyrim on the Switch for more than just a couple hours. I checked. What's surprising is that I played it for a few hours at all, but that was mostly me stealing apples from the bar and selling them back to the owner. I've been playing it now, though, mostly because I really left Skyrim behind since playing it thoroughly when I was a child, and I really only ever rebought it to play with mods, once on the Xbox and once again on the PC. Coming back to this game after I haven't even thought about it in literal years was a joyful little experience, though I knew what I was getting into on a technical level. Still, I did enjoy spending a few hours reliving my childhood, even if I won't see the majority of the game ever again. The Switch is an impressive little fucker, but it won't impress you with Skyrim unless you play it a certain way, and we're not talking about motion controls. Regardless of what Skyrim on the Switch does right, you still have to deal with a really annoying mechanical problem: Nintendo's stupid controller button layout. I don't like it. It makes lots of games ported from Xbox or Microsoft consoles with better control schemes just a little frustrating because A and B are always swapped somehow, both on the controller and in-game, though the jump and the sheath buttons are in the exact same spot in the controller, so it makes me wonder why Bethesda swapped A and B at all. You can swap the control scheme in the settings, but A and B as a yes or no option on the controller are set and you can't change it, meaning I press B to interact, but then need to press A to choose dialogue options. Stop! I'm pressing the same button twice. It's strange, but it took me less than 10 minutes to get used to, so I'll let it slide. Skyrim on the Switch does have one saving grace, and like I said, it's not the motion controls. The motion controls are a neat gimmick. Some things are easier than with a controller, and attacking is not one of them. I'm getting off topic, that's not the point. I bought Dark Souls Remastered for my Switch alongside Skyrim. I have also bought Dark Souls Remastered 4 times. The difference here is that I played it every single one of those times, with it being one of my favorite games and all. On the Switch, you more or less did yourself a disservice playing the game on a TV. The game was an older port of DSR, being closer to the PS3 version than to the graphically superior modern versions. The audio is a little bit off too, being not as clear and weirdly quiet. In handheld mode, though, Dark Souls looks and sounds and plays so much better. The graphical limitations don't exactly look so bad in my hands compared to the 30-inch TV in my room. That's where the excitement with Dark Souls on the Switch lies. Play it anywhere. In the car, on your living room couch, at grandma's funeral, on a plane. But the excitement for me stops as soon as you play it on the TV, so if you're like I am, you're just gonna play it on your PC or your home console that's dedicated to running games like these as best as they can. Skyrim suffers from the exact same issue, but for better or worse, that doesn't make it a bad port on the Switch. It's actually a little bit better than the Dark Souls, because at least with Dark Souls I have to play it on my handheld. Skyrim doesn't suffer from playing on your TV while you're on your Switch, it just shines when you hold it in your hands. It looks better on the small Switch screen, whereas the game looks more rough, a little noisy, and generally unpolished on the TV. Actually, like Dark Souls, I'm pretty fucking convinced that this port is much closer to the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions. The plus side is that it's the same ragdoll simulator you knew and loved, and it has all those little glitches that I used to abuse all the time for a little extra gold. I am a sucker for nostalgia, but even with games I really liked back then, I won't pretend that it didn't look that bad, because it did. But also, I'm not a kid playing a brand new game on the only console in the house that wasn't a fucking Wii, so I have a lot less of a reason to play this version. It's not a bad port because its only saving grace is that it got a way to play it handheld, and that's where it shines. For if some reason you only want to play it handheld. That's the catch, that's the gimmick, and that deters a lot of people. And I guess, yeah, it's really not like any other port of Skyrim, because this is the one thing where it really shines, bringing it on the go. But the demographic of people playing Skyrim on the Switch isn't all that small, but it's much smaller when you compare it to the amount of people that got to play it on better hardware. If you have two consoles, you're not really booting up Skyrim on the Switch because you like that version better, if you know what I mean. It's really only for people that haven't played it before, or they have and they want to play it again. Watching me play Skyrim on a video on your phone is more practical than playing it in handheld. You have to be kind of desperate, or you have to have a Switch Lite, and if you do, I am so sorry. And this video is mostly off script if you can't tell. I just kind of had like ideas to jot down, but even at the end of my bullet points, I've really kind of found myself getting lost in Skyrim again. If you're looking for something that's just an open world Switch game, you're better off playing something like Tears of the Kingdom if, you want it to look better. It runs on the same thing. But for this, you'd have to play Skyrim for Skyrim. You'd have to be willing to look past the technical limitations, or even having to play it as a handheld game. And while it doesn't look bad on my TV, and I'm actually getting a lot more accustomed to playing it on the TV very quickly, it just shines in your hands. And if that's what you're here for, if you're here to play Skyrim, and maybe even if you have to have it in handheld mode, which is a little extra bonus, you're not going to be disappointed. The more I play, the more I want to play again, even just for a little bit. You're not really going to catch me playing this in handheld mode in front of my desk like I did with Mario Kart, but if you want to partake in Skyrim as close as it could be to the original build, this is it. This is where to get it. And not being able to mod it won't ruin the fun and entertainment of the most profound role-playing game of the 2010s. It's just kind of limited to people who only had a Switch and for some reason haven't played Skyrim and really want to. But even so, buying it on the Switch and playing it even in bed in handheld mode, it's not so bad. It's kind of cute. It's got its charm, and Skyrim already has that magic. I think a lot of the magic that felt lost upon me when I thought about it was because I already played the game a lot. Playing this just because I had an idea for a video is, not so bad at all. So I'm coming back a couple days later after I recorded the original segment for the video, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about my experience with Skyrim as I've been playing it again, because it's kind of an interesting one. I thought I would just be completely over this game, but it's not so true anymore. The original part of the video is all over. I'm done talking about the Switch and whatnot, but I have been playing Skyrim quite a bit on the Switch. I was playing it in bed while I was trying to fall asleep, and when I got home from work, and when I've just been finding myself playing Skyrim, which is a little weird because, like I said, I played the shit out of it when I was a kid, and so just going back kind of felt like, The same thing happened with me with Fallout 4. I put so much time into it on the Xbox One that I'm just kind of like, Plus, I don't think my PC could handle Fallout 4. But playing it on the TV made me realize I kind of want it to look a little better and to play around with mods. So I owned it on Steam from forever ago, and I re-downloaded it, and I installed a lot of mods, which took a couple hours. But Skyrim on the Switch was good, just standalone. But playing through it, I realized I just wanted more. Like, it kind of was lacking, and that wasn't Skyrim's fault. It's just because I've played through it a bit. But I never ever thought I would ever come back to Skyrim. This is coming from a kid who never played Oblivion. I played a lot of Morrowind, just never Oblivion. So playing Skyrim that young as a kid was really a joyful experience. I just didn't ever think I really would come back and have a good time in it when I wasn't messing around with mods. Because I feel like there's two reasons I would kind of play Skyrim anymore, and that's to mess around with mods, which was predominantly what I was doing, just messing around with mods, running around doing the new things, and then getting off. Where now, the second reason I play Skyrim is because I want to play Skyrim. I don't want to play the mods. The mods just kind of help add to it. I feel like it's just expanding on a game that was already so big that so many of us got to play through in its full glory. And I don't really have much to say about that. I'm having a good time. It's, you know, nothing profound, nothing like I experienced this while playing Skyrim. I just wanted to kind of say that I got back into Skyrim, and I didn't ever think I would. And you know what? It's kind of nice. I guess I can thank the Switch port of Skyrim for getting me back into it. It's not like that was the only reason I'd play Skyrim, it was just the only reason I could find a couple days ago. And if you're still watching this, I mean, I had a video a couple weeks ago about getting lost in a game, and I think this is what's happening with me. Because at the time, it was Final Fantasy 15. I have a whole essay going about that, but I'm making these videos in between just so I have time to write a nice, long, funny, but like, you know, emotionally deep essay. And right now I'm just, I feel like I'm taking a pit stop at Skyrim. I don't know how far that'll go or how long that'll last, but thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. Anyways, from this video into the next, I was Crazy Jake.